Hey everyone, welcome to MT Guitar. Today we're going to learn how to play 10 hit songs up and down the neck. This is something that is very exciting to do because basically it'll unlock both rhythm and lead playing for you in a way that's beyond the basic chord shapes that we all learn and memorize, right? And when we memorize something, basically a song lives in a certain area of the guitar. And that's how I thought about songs for a long time. But when you want to advance, you kind of need to jump, take a leap of faith, so to speak, and jump from your area of comfort into a new area. And right, what better way to do that than with the fretboard? So if we know a song, say we know how to play it, we generally, just play it either with open or bar chords and that's it. So what we want to do is we want to take those songs and we want to play them without a bass, for instance, or without sort of a bar chord, and use triads, because a chord is just 3 notes. That's all it is. So a G chord is just GBD. Whether or not we have a bass or not is slightly irrelevant to the actual makeup of the chord. All right, so why don't we jump in, and then what I'll do is I'll show you how you can apply this to not just these 10 songs, but any song. I'll write out what I'm going to do in this lesson on the Patreon so you can play along with the tab of these 10 songs. So let's start with our first song, No Woman, No Cry. Most people play it here, which is a great idea because that's where Bob Marley played it. Okay, but we have C, G over B, which is just a G with a different bass, A minor and F. Okay, so I'm going to play my C up here. You can notice that it's a triad from the E shape. All right, here's an E shape bar chord of C. I'm just going to highlight the first 3 strings only. Now for the 5 chord, I'm going to stay in this position and notice that 3, 5, 1. These are the 3, 5, 1 notes of C. So the 5's there. I'm going to make a D shape of G. And we're not going to dive too much into the theory. I just am trying to get you to play these things, and eventually you can analyze the theory later. But just know that that's the 5 chord of this triad. Looks like a D chord, up a 4th. That's a G. Next chord is A minor. It's a 6 chord, so here's the 6 of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, we're not doing too much theory today, just playing through it. So 1 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, 4 chord. Okay, that's F. It's the 4 because it's the 4th of C. So there's our root. So 1 chord, no woman, no cry. I went up to the D form of C instead of doing some 6 to do some melody. So that would be E shape of F, back to the E shape of C. See how I'm basically just playing with the fretboard as opposed to being locked into one area. Okay? All right, second song would be Learning to Fly. Also in the key of C. It's F, C, A minor, G. So look, we've already learned these 4 chords. It's just a different order. F, C, A minor, G. Now, let's take a step further. What if I say, I got the triads. It's great. What if I want a solo? I'm going to use the chord tones melodically. So I'm basically saying, you know what? This is painting each chord very, very clearly for me so I can pick those notes in a solo. So we can see what the chord looks like in a lead context. So I can pick out those chord tones. All right, let's go to number 3 and I'm going to switch guitars. All right, so that was my Godin, by the way, my nylon string solid body. Love it. Here's my Martin OM28 with way too old of strings. Good reminder here to restring this guitar. And play it more often. But let's look at Country Roads. All right, Take Me Home Country Roads by John Denver. We're in the key of A, E, F sharp minor, D. Okay, so we've kind of covered the E shape when we did our earlier songs. So let's do a different one. Let's do D shape as our 1 chord. Okay. a lot of times you'll find the melody of the song in a triad because a lot of times the singer is singing a chord tone. So here's a D shape of A. It's D, a fifth up. Here's A. And then country road, it's just right there, okay? 5 chord, it's in this triad. Here's a 5 root, 5, 1, 3. We make that our root of a 5 chord. And here's an A shape of E. So here's E, but we're just gonna take the triad. Now F sharp minor, there's the 6. 1, 7, 6. Comes from the A minor shape. Now the E shape of D. Okay, that's the 4 chord. So, country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mom, take me home, country road. Okay, so I started here and then I moved on, but believe me, if I didn't have this information, I wouldn't be able to do all the fun improvisatory stuff that I did after. So this is just the starting place that we can go build from there. All right, here's my beautiful flamenco guitar. Here's a song, "In My Life" by John Lennon. We know it as A to E there, but then when the verse starts, it's A, E, F sharp minor, A7, forget about that for a sec, D, D minor, A. Okay, great stuff. So we're gonna do 1, 5, 6, 1, even though the bass is over a flat 7, but we're just gonna call it 1, 4 to 4 minor. So yeah, let's do it with the A shape again. So here's an A, we just played it with Country Roads. 5 chord, we just played it with Country Roads again. This time it's just in a different groove and feeling and style and decade, whatever. But, or is it a different decade? Yeah, Country Roads was 70s. So it's just the same chords, right? There are places I remember. 4 chord, minor. I take the third of any major chord and I flat it. Now I have a minor triad. So we really want to learn the basics of music theory so that we can create our own arrangements and not be locked into, I must play the chords here, or or it won't work. No, that's ridiculous. Every song can be played anywhere, right? So we don't want to be locked in. But on guitar, we sort of do it as a survival method. So it's fine, but we want to move on from that eventually. Okay? So there you go. Now I can move any of these songs to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings as well. So that would be the A shape, the E shape of A. There are places, C shape of E, C minor shape of F sharp minor, D major, that's the A shape of D, A minor shape of D. Now I'm not thinking about this as I'm playing. I've just sort of learned it all and it's incorporated. But there is a name for all these shapes that you can systematically learn. So, all right. Can You Feel the Love Tonight is an F. Can you feel the love tonight? Right. So it's a 1, 5, 6, 4. So for F, let's see here. Let's do an A shape of F. So how do I know even where to get to that? We're going to cover that soon. But I know that this is an A shape of F. So I'm going to do triad. Here's the 5 of the triad. 1, 3, 5. So that's got to be the root of a 5 chord. And it's on an E string, so it's got to be the E shape. Well, it doesn't have to be, but it is. There's a 5 chord, 6 chord. All right, how do we know that? Well, D minor is the 6th chord of F. Here's a D, E minor shape. B flat is the 4 chord, and we use a D shape. How do we know that? Because 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the melody. Okay, so the whole thing would be. Can you feel the love tonight? Tonight, so much fun. So I'm kind of veering off the path here of just one area, but I'm making a point that you might do this and think, what's the big deal? Well, that's the big deal, is that once you do this enough, the patterns emerge. And you only have 3 triad shapes, right? F, F, F. That's it. Then it repeats up here. So really, once you do that, the patterns will emerge, because doing a 1, 4, 5, 6 combination in all those 3 areas is all there is to it as far as what I'm doing. Then I'm adding some lead stuff. Okay, yeah, that's maybe different, but the triads are informing my lead playing. All right, where are we? So Africa. Africa chorus is F sharp. It's in the key of F sharp minor for the chorus. So that's a 1, flat 6, flat 3, flat 7. Okay. Some might think of it as in the key of A major, and it's a 6, 4, 1, 5. Whatever. Either way. So great. How about we take an F sharp minor? Yeah, let's do it here. Here's an F sharp. Great. There's my octave. Here's my A sharp, A minor shape. Recognize these triads yet? Let's do it on a different string set. Sorry. A to E. Now what if I did second, third, fourth strings? 1 chord, flat 6, flat 3, flat 7. Or if you're in the key of A major, 6, 4, 1, 5. When I come around, Green Day. Trusty power chords. Great. But, alright, so that's power chords. What if I take it to some triads? It creates some interesting things here. Here's an F sharp in a D shape. Now here's a 5 chord, but the melody goes. Alright, so I'm kind of playing the song with the melody in mind. That's a 5/7. It's a dominant 7. So it's like a C sharp 7 here. There's the melody. Well, I heard it all before. I went to the second, third, fourth string groupings because there's my E flat minor, or D sharp minor I should say, to B. So I'm going just isolating the 3 strings that I need, because that's all I need for a chord. Right, now I'm going up here because that's where the melody goes. So here's an A shape, and then 5. Okay. All right, so 3 songs left. Here's my Taylor. I was playing my Epiphone Joe Pass Emperor 2. Awesome jazz guitar. All right, so we got With It Without You by U2. 1 chord, 5 chord, then to 6, then to 4 is the whole song. Okay. And without you. So that's great. All right. We'll probably get bored playing it only that for our entire life. So we want to move it up. So recognize this. Here's the A shape of D. One of the 3 triads. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We could also do it second, third, fourth strings. 1. That doesn't look like a D chord, but John Lennon played Ds like this sometimes. It's like a banjo voicing, but it's from the C shape. All right, so there's 1, no bar, just these 3 strings. There's another one. Looks like an A chord shape without the bass, which is great. Okay, and then here, that's an E shape, just second, third, fourth strings. So let's do that. Da, da, da. So let's do that song on just these strings. 1 chord. 5 chord, here's the 5 of D, so make an E shape out of it. There's the 6, we just go up a whole step from the 5 to the 6, make it minor. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, it's okay. There's the 4 chord. Here's the 4 of D, so we're not having to move anywhere. 1, 5, 6, 4. In different lessons I'll go slower and talk about caged, but this isn't a caged lesson. This is just getting you to play 10 songs up and down without too many theoretical questions about it. And I wait without you, with or without you. Right? Let It Be by the Beatles, key of C. All right, so Let It Be by the Beatles. Right, whatever, C, G, A minor, F. I do have a lesson on the exact piano part, but let's take same thing we were just doing on with Without You, but here's our C now. So one, times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. How would I use this in a lead context? Well, George Harrison. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Right? I'm using major pentatonic, but I'm using, of each chord, but I'm using these shapes as huge starting places, okay? I'm basing my lead off of the shapes. It's not like I'm just picking these notes out of thin air. They're coming from these triads. All right, last one, Take On Me. Right, take on me. A, E, F sharp minor, D. 1, 5, 6, 4. So at this point, I think we're beating the dead horse. But here's doing 1, 5, 6, 4 on the 3-string set with the C shape. Right? Take me on, take on me on, be gone. Can you move freely between them? That's the goal. So let's define the 3 shapes to call it a day. If I'm in a song like Take On Me, we're moving away from the open. All right, so let's move to the first triad shape we can find. That's the E shape. 6, 5, 5. The 5 chord would be D shape. And the 4 chord would be A shape. 7, 7, 5. So 6, 5, 5, 4, 5, 4. And then for the 6 chord, sorry, I forgot to say that. 6, 7, 5, 7, 7, 5. How would you do that on your own? Well, notice that here's the 1. Here's the 5, here's the 6, triad. Here's the 4, make a triad. Don't worry about the theory too much for this lesson. Just do it and let your ear and hands kind of meet in the middle, okay? So that's that triad shape. What about this triad shape? 5, 1, 3. Here's the 5, make an A-shaped triad. Here's the 6, make a minor triad. Here's the 4, make a major triad. Take me on, take on me. And there is a train of thought that I like, as well as the theoretical train of thought, where opposed to the theory, if we just play these things up and down, our ear will be like, that's really nice, and want us to keep doing it. And then our mind will finally say, well, what's going on? So that would be playing it first and then asking questions later. And sometimes we don't do that as much as we should. And I'm guilty of that too as a teacher. So we should just play these things and let the mind catch up later. Okay? So that would be second shape, first shape, second shape. The third shape would be all the way up here. It's A chord up 12 frets. But the first 3 strings of an open A chord would be 14, 14, 12 up to 12 frets. 1 chord, 5 chord is there, or 5 root is there. Here's the chord. Here's the 6, make a minor triad. Here's the 4, make a major triad. Okay? So that's enough for this lesson. We'll dive more slowly and thoroughly into all this at other lessons and other, with other things happening. I just wanted to get through these 10 songs. Check out the Patreon where I'll tab out all these things there. And hope you enjoyed this one. Looking forward to seeing you next lesson.